She dumped me with, "We'll always be friends though." I replied, "Absolutely." Weeks later, she found out friendship didn't include rent money, emotional support, or car repairs, especially once I started dating her roommate. The end of our 2-year relationship happened Tuesday night. Amber sat me down on the couch and delivered some recycled nonsense about needing to find herself, how she felt creatively stifled, how the relationship didn't inspire her anymore. Her tone was fake soft, but her eyes were already somewhere else, probably with that guy from her painting class who wore scarves in July. Then she hit me with it. "We'll always be friends though." I didn't flinch. I smiled. Absolutely. She lit up like she'd pulled off the smoothest breakup in history. Freedom unlocked, safety net secured, no more commitment, but hey, still access to Jake whenever her car made a weird noise or she needed help setting up her IKEA bookshelves. She had no clue I was done playing utility boyfriend. "As your friend," I said, standing up, "you should start looking for someone to take over my half of the rent. I'll be out by the weekend." That wiped the smirk right off her face. "What? You're moving out?" "Yeah, you dumped your boyfriend, not your roommate? That's not how this works. You can't just leave. I don't have anyone lined up. I can't afford this place alone." "I'll pay my half for the rest of the month," I said, grabbing my keys. "After that, either get someone new or split the lease break fee. I'm cool with either." She stared at me like I just told her rent was now paid in blood. "You're seriously just going to abandon me?" I shrugged. "We're friends now, right? Friends don't live together unless they split the bills." Right on cue, Maya walked in, our roommate. She worked crazy hours as a vet tech and avoided Amber's drama like it was airborne. She took one look at the living room. Amber pointed. "He's leaving me." Just like that, Maya looked at me, then Amber. "You dumped him. This isn't complicated," and walked to her room. Amber followed me around all night after that, pulling out every trick in the book. Crying, guilt trips, fake nostalgia. "You're really throwing away everything?" "As your friend," I said, taping up a box. "I support your journey." Once I moved out, she started stress calling. First, it was the electricity. "Jake, the power's out. You need to come fix it. Did you check the breaker box?" "I'm not touching that. It looks dangerous." "Then call emergency maintenance." "That costs money." "As your friend, I think your safety is worth the fee." Click. Then came her car making a weird noise. "Sounds like you need a mechanic. Can't you just come look at it?" "I don't live there anymore." "You're really not going to help me?" "I'm your friend, not your boyfriend. Call AAA." And just like that, the reality of her new status started sinking in. I didn't say no. I just never said yes. Meanwhile, Maya and I started texting. It started casual. Then Buster, her dog, got sick. Needed the emergency vet. She didn't have a car. Amber was off somewhere, finding herself. "I'll drive," I texted. 4 hours in the waiting room turned into talking about everything. Law school, car restoration, dumb Amber stories. She had the kind of dry humor that catches you off guard and makes you laugh harder than you should. I liked her a lot. We kept hanging out. I fixed her car. She made dinner. It wasn't serious until it was. No fireworks, just the kind of steady, easy vibe I never had with Amber. 2 months later, Amber finally found a new roommate. Some kid fresh out of college who needed a room and had no idea what he was walking into. I had to go sign the lease transfer. Maya came with me. We had dinner plans after. Amber was playing hostess in the living room, loud and fake happy. I signed the last paper. Maya stood next to me. As I handed the pen back, she reached out and slid her fingers through mine. Amber saw it. Her mouth froze mid-sentence. She didn't say anything. Didn't need to. You could feel the temperature drop. She stared at our hands like someone had flipped her world upside down. The guy she dumped, the guy who paid the bills, fixed the car, made the coffee, was gone. And his replacement, the girl who lived next door the whole time, the one she never thought twice about. 6 weeks later, new roommate moved out in the middle of the night. Left a note. "I'd rather couch surf." Amber got evicted. Last anyone heard, she was back in her childhood bedroom, working part-time at a bookstore and reposting Instagram quotes about healing. She tried blaming me and Maya for everything. No one listened. Most people didn't even remember we dated. Now Maya and I live together. New house, big yard, 2-car garage. Buster rules the place like he owns it. Maya passed the bar. I'm expanding the shop. We split everything 50-50. Amber said, "We'll always be friends." She was right, and that friendship wrecked her whole life.
What's the craziest thing you've ever been accused of? The police showed up at my apartment at 3 a.m. last month. They had a warrant, cameras rolling, and looked at me like I was some kind of monster. I had no idea what was happening until they mentioned the hospital. I'd visited my mom earlier that day. She was in a medically induced coma after her surgery. Everything had been normal. The nurses were friendly, the doctors optimistic. But now the detective was telling me about a string of mysterious incidents in the ICU. That's when I noticed something disturbing in their evidence photos. The hospital's security cameras had these weird glitches, just 2.3 seconds long, always during night shift. The IT department claimed it was routine maintenance, but my tech background screamed that something was wrong. I dug deeper into my mom's medical charts. Hidden between routine notes were unusual sedative doses at 2 a.m., exactly when the cameras glitched. Not just for my mom, every patient who reported incidents had the same pattern. The hospital administration tried to brush it off as a documentation error, but Tuesday night, the hidden camera we installed caught something nobody expected. The night nurse wasn't working alone. She was being forced, tears streaming down her face as she followed someone's orders. My mom finally woke up yesterday. She grabbed my hand and whispered something that made everything click. The hospital director has been harvesting organs from sedated patients. The thefts were just a cover-up. I caught my neighbor stealing boxes, so I filled one with crickets. She'd been taking them for months. My Ring camera caught her grabbing boxes after delivery, but police said they couldn't do anything without proof. They just told me to get a P.O. box. I was done being nice after she stole my mom's gift. I ordered 2 boxes. One had the real gift. The other, I went to the pet store and bought 100 crickets meant for feeding lizards. The guy asked if I had a big lizard. I just smiled. I put the real box in my backyard. The cricket box? Right on my front porch, wrapped with a fake designer logo. I added those fancy ribbons expensive stores use. Then I waited, watching my Ring camera like my favorite TV show. She took the bait in under an hour. I watched her speed walk to her house, that logo making her eyes light up. My camera caught the exact moment she opened it inside her garage. She probably thought she hit the jackpot until that box exploded with crickets. The screaming started instantly. Her garage door flew open and she ran out dancing, crickets jumping everywhere. They got into her house through the open door. The best part? Crickets are impossible to catch, and they chirp all night long. She tried everything. Bug spray, pest control, sonic devices. Nothing worked. The crickets found their home. The chirping drove her crazy for 2 weeks. She moved out after that. The new neighbors, sweetest family ever. They bring my boxes to my door. Sometimes karma comes with 6 legs and a loud chirp.
I almost lost my daughter because the doctors wouldn't listen to me. She was only 2 years old when I noticed something something wasn't right. Her breathing was off and she kept holding her chest. The ER doctor barely looked at her. "It's just a cold," he said, handing me children's Tylenol. "Kids get sick all the time." He didn't even check her temperature or listen to her test, just glanced at her from across the room. But my gut screamed that something was wrong. That night, her lips started turning slightly blue. I rushed back to the hospital, terrified. My hands were shaking so bad I could barely drive. "You're being an anxious parent," they said. "She's fine." They tried sending us home again. The nurse rolled her eyes when I started crying. One even suggested I should stop Googling symptoms and let professionals do their job. This time, I refused to leave. I planted myself in that waiting room and demanded a different doctor. They threatened to call security, but I wouldn't budge. I sat there for 6 hours straight, watching my daughter get worse by the minute. Finally, a young resident took one look at her, and everything changed. "Get her into trauma now," she shouted. My daughter's heart was failing. She had a rare condition that was crushing her lungs. If we'd waited even a few more hours, they airlifted her to a specialist hospital. The surgeon later told me, "Your stubbornness saved her life." She's 10 now, healthy and strong. But I learned something that day. Sometimes being a difficult parent is exactly what your child needs.